I don't even know if y'all know who we are because it's been so long.
My
It's been
beard's longer.
almost probably a year.
This is how long it's been.
Yeah.
Remember when
I
it was
got a
all-
beard.
That's true.
It's been like I got hair and a beard. Like this, it's been way too long. But anywho, we have been gone for a minute. We missed y'all. I don't know if y'all missed us, but we missed y'all. And I'm trying to tear my hand up. Jesus Christ.
I cried.
Yeah. So this is gonna be mostly this is kind of a, I don't know how you would call it, an offshoot episode where I got to tell this foolish story. So I decided, instead of telling this story a bunch of times to a bunch of people like I already have, and I'm kind of tired of it, but I really want to tell this story, I figured I would just tell this story on the podcast. So anytime somebody's like, what story are you talking about? Hey, how about you check out our podcast? And I tell that story.
So lots of people know this now?
Only family members know this,
Ah.
pretty much. Like, only family members. There's no, like, friends or strangers or anybody. Like, nobody outside the family knows it. So
I've been getting teasers, and I'm kind of excited to hear what this is.
Whew. You have no idea.
I
So,
don't.
I don't know, I think it was Memorial Day weekend, right? Memorial Day weekend is in May? That's Memorial Day?
Yes.
All right, Memorial Day weekend, we went to, we decided we were going to rent an RV and go to Big Bend
Cool.
camping, right? Sounds
Yeah.
fun.
Have you been camping before?
Last time I went camping was back in like 2002, 2003, something like that,
Okay.
where it was me and the Casanovas. We all went. Lorenzo, Sean, Marlon. We all went, and
Sean went?
we all decided. We just all decided one day we were sitting there smoking, getting high, and we were like, hey, y'all wanna go camping? And everybody's like, cool. And I had a blazer, so everybody's like, cool, we'll go camping, whatever. We load up and their parents were like, y'all are crazy. Y'all ain't
I don't hear about
y'all ain't
spontaneous camping.
exactly. Y'all ain't looked at no weather. Y'all ain't looked at nothing. Y'all just gonna hop in the car and go, right? It was like, yeah, what do you think? So we hop in the car and go. Get there the first night. It was cold. It was like maybe October, November. We decided to go, so it was cold. We get there. We went to Cold Springs, I believe it was. We get
I
there
want to make sure we die.
and it's cold. It's not like freezing, but it's cold. We got like fire and all that. We're fine. Well, later on in the night, it starts raining.
Nice.
Rains for 2 days straight. To where finally Sunday morning, this is a Friday night when we left, to where
Yeah.
Sunday morning, Saturday, all day Saturday, we tried to make fun out of it.
Where'd y'all sleep?
Nothing in the blazer.
Oh,
We
okay.
all just slept in my blazer. So we finally decide, all right, well, we're just gonna leave. It's been raining all day Saturday. It's Sunday morning, and I don't want to be here any more long than we have to. So we just packed up and came on Sunday. That was the last time I went camping. There was a reason for that. I'm
Okay.
about to explain to you why. So we all decided it was me, Elisa, her father, her mother, her brother, and his girlfriend. 6 of us in an RV. So me and Elisa leave on Thursday afternoon to get to Austin about 6:30 to go pick up the RV because we're renting the RV from a guy on this app called Outdoorsy. So we can it's like Airbnb for like RVs and stuff.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So we went and picked it up or whatever, and he explained everything to us or whatever. It's fine. So we pick it up and we drive there. We get to Alex's apartment, which is in Austin.
Hmm.
Alex claims he ain't slept in like, I don't know, a week. He slept, but it's been like 3 hours every day. Like
Okay, so
he's super busy. He's trying to get his PhD and he's working and all this kind of
right.
stuff. So he's super
Just
busy.
very little sleep. Okay.
Very little sleep.
Okay.
She's like, all right. So he's made like the reservation for the campsite, whatever. So we get to his apartment and we park outside. Me and Lisa plan on sleeping in the RV that night and just leave in the morning. Everybody's gonna meet us here in Austin and leave in the morning. Well, all that goes off pretty well. We have like dinner that night, and me and Lisa, we sleep in the RV. We get up and we leave. We don't leave as early as I like to. I would like to leave like before traffic, like 5. We leave about 7. It's fine, no big deal.
Mm.
I drive out of Austin. We leaving. I drive out. I start the drive. It's like a 9-hour drive. So I drive probably 3 hours, maybe. Then her dad takes over. He drives for about 3 hours. Then Alex takes over. The whole time we're using GPS.
Yeah.
So we've been using the propane tank because, like I said, we slept in the RV that night. So me and Elise have been using the propane. So on the way to Big Bend, we're like, I don't know, an hour away, hour and a half away from Big Bend. So we stopped to get gas or whatever. And we're like, all right, well, since we've been using the propane and we're going to be in the campsite for like 3 days, we should refill. And then, because me and Lisa are going to sleep in the RV at the nighttime. At night, they're going to camp in tents or whatever. So we're going to need some propane because the AC and all this other stuff, cooking and all this stuff.
Gotcha.
It's like, all right. So we look up where to go on the GPS to find like a place that we can fill up on propane on the way to the park.
So far, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So we stop and we find a place that we fill up on propane. The guy says, we get there, right? And the lady's like, oh, he's not here, but he'll be back in like 15, 20 minutes, right?
Okay.
She's like, I'm going to call him. She's like, okay. So she calls him. He's like, I'll be in like 30 minutes. Come fill y'all up. Bet. So we're like, all right, since we're here and we're stopped, we have a stove and everything in our RV. Let's just cook some food. So they cook like some chicken and stuff or whatever. And we eat. We wait. 9 hours has passed. He ain't came. We wait. Now it's about an hour 15, hour 20. He finally shows up. The lady then already left. Because she had to go like pick up her kid from school and all kind of stuff. So she like left and like closed down. She's like, he said he was gonna be here in like 30 minutes. So we're just gonna fill up your propane tank for free. We're not gonna charge you. Bet.
Okay.
So he comes, fills it up. We leave. Boom. Alex has the GPS and we're riding, right? I'm sitting now. By this time, it's Alex in the front, Victoria in the front, Mom and Dad in the middle, me and Elise in the back. So I'm looking. I'm sitting in the middle, like in the back, but in the middle, and I can see Alex. And I'm watching him. He's like messing with the GPS. The whole time we've been riding, like once you leave, like I would say out of like San Antonio, signal gets spotty. Like you'll have signal. Sometimes you won't. Sometimes you have signal. Sometimes you don't. When you're riding, going towards Big Bend, you really don't have no signal.
Where is it at exactly?
It's South Texas, like south, like closer to the border, like,
okay.
Like, yeah. So we riding. I can see him messing with it. Now he done lost the GPS. Shit. So I can see him, like, I'm real good, but like watching people's like bodily reactions to things.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time I'm watching him, he's like doing this, like he's driving, but he's like keeps like messing with his hair, like because he's getting nervous. And I was like messing with his hair and like messing with the phone, trying to like mess with it. He's driving, doing this, and like trying to get the GPS. So I'm like, Lisa, your brother done messed up the GPS. He getting kind of nervous. I don't think he know where we're supposed to go. She's like, huh? I repeat myself. So she's like, okay. So she gets up. She's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, I was trying to put in the location for the campsite, like the exact campsite, but we ain't got no signal, so I lost the GPS.
Mm.
It's like, shit. So he said, if we go down this road, he said if it was straight down this road, it was like another 40 miles or so down the road or whatever. It's like, all right, bet. So trying to find signal, can't get no signal. Finally, we come up to this like station where you enter the park. You've already been in like Big Bend for like an hour and a half now already. We've already been in the park, but the park is so huge that it's just, it goes on forever, right? So you finally get to like a station where you entering like into the park. Well, there's like a station where there's supposed to be like a park ranger or whatever you call them. And then there's a gift shop. Well, on the side of the gift shop, there's like a map, the road map that tells you where we're supposed to go, right? So we're going down where she's at least so if you get stuck anywhere and all you have is a map, you want to get stuck with Elisa. Like that's no bullshit. Like she's very good at reading maps. So she gets out of the car.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. That's like, yeah. Like, I ain't bullshitting. Like, she's like savant at reading maps. Like, it's weird. It's very weird.
Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's her shit. Like, she is map read. Like,
born too
like
late.
on GPS, like when she's using GPS on like Google Maps, she don't use the direction where it turn your map. She knows she can see like north, south, east, and she can do it in her head. Like, all right, I need to go east. I need to go west. That's how she'll talk to you. Okay, go east on this way. Go west. Like, no. What's at the corner? Is there like a Jack in the Box at the corner? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
How many people?
Exactly. So she gets out of the car and she like looks at the map or whatever. She's like, all right, bet. She gets back in the car. She's like, if we go like another 5 miles this way, this is how good she is. She's like, you can go another 5 or 6 miles this way. It's a road called Chalingua Farms Road. We're supposed to turn off of. That's what we're supposed to turn off of. Like, bet. Cool. Get back. She gets back in the car. We start driving. Shit you not. 5-6 miles down the road, Chalingua Farms Road. Make a right. We turn down this road, Eric. This is where the fun starts. So immediately you turn down this road, it's a 1-lane road. So basically, if another car is coming this way, and we coming this way, we're about to have a game of fucking chicken. Immediately red flags start going off in my head. But by this time, it's Alex in the front. Elisa's now sitting next to him. 2 parents in the middle. Me and Victoria are in the back. So, me and Victoria in the back, freaking out. I don't think we're supposed to go this way. This road is when I say it's bumpy, that's not a good word. There's just no other word to describe how this fucking road was. Yeah.
Like an access road or something?
It was boo boo boo. We're in an RV. Boo boo. Cabin is open. Shit falling. Me and Victoria just looking at each other like, I don't think we supposed to be going this way. So I get up and I'm like, Alex, you sure we ain't another road that we supposed to be going on? Like, no, this is the way the GPS told us we need to be going. All right. So now I go back to the back. This goes on for about 20 miles.
20 miles of this?
The
whole way?
To where finally I'm like, man, I got the fear that for one, we're going to bust this man's shit up. 2, we're going to pop a tire.
Yeah.
We're in the desert. We ain't got nowhere to go. So Victoria looks at me. She goes, I got a bad feeling. We don't get to the end of this road. There ain't going to be nothing at the end of this road. Yeah, me too. I kind of got that feeling too. But we're going to wait. I finally get signal back on my phone. So I'm looking at the GPS and I'm like, hey, we on Chalingua Road, right? They're like, yeah. I said, there's a road coming up. This Marathon Road, right? And they're like, oh, that's the road we supposed to turn off of. Oh, cool. We finally get to Marathon Road. And when I tell you we going around these turns and shit, like it's tight turns, like around like rocks and boulders and shit and like mountainsides and shit. It's in the fucking
Sounds
desert.
sketchy.
It's sketchy as
Real
shit.
sketchy.
So I'm like, we do. So we finally get to Marathon Road. Marathon Road ain't as bad as Chalingua Farms Road was, but it's still bumpy. Boo, 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 boo. So now Alex is still driving. He's like, the car stops. Man, what you stop? What's going on? What's going on? There's mud in the middle of the road. I don't think we can get through it. Like, well, shit, we ain't going back. So I'm like, all right. So I get out of the car. I take a walk, like to go check out the mud situation, see how deep and how wet it is. Slide. Their dad gets out. He walking with me. We slide. Slide, trying to walk through the mud. Like, we're not going back. We're not, in my head, I'm like, we're not going back that way. Because there's potholes and shit that I know that we got through by the skin of our ass.
Won't make it.
We ain't getting back that way. We're not going back that way.
How was it just a mud pit?
we'll get to that. So we get back. We walk back to the car. Me and their dad's shoes are muddy as shit. So now we're just like, what do we do? Dad's like, I think we should just turn around and try to find another way in the desert to see if we can find another road to get there. I'm like, nah, because we got a half a tank.
Oh.
I can see right there on that cliff right there, there's a lodge, looks like. That's gotta be the campsite. We gotta be that close. Because we ride, it's on Marathon Road, right? Yeah, we on Marathon Road, right? Yeah. I don't see nothing else but this lodge. So it's gotta be right there. We not turning the fuck all life. The way back around.
Yeah, you're seeing life now.
So he's like, nah. Nobody else is saying. It's basically just me and him like, yeah, nah. Just going back and forth. So I'm in the driver's seat. So I get in the, like I said, I close the door, and I'm looking at him in the driver's side window. I'm looking down at him as he's going, "Don't do this," and I'm going, "I'm about to do this because we not turning around, bro. You know what I did?
You slammed through the mud.
Went through the mud.
Right.
Driving. Now we spinning. Now we fishtailing.
How big was this?
Oh, this is like a you know those. It's not it's one of those big, not a like the Mercedes Benz, like those Mercedes Benz industrial vans, like the big Mercedes Benz industrial van, like an Amazon truck almost, like the Amazon delivery trucks. It's one of those, but like that size, motherfucker.
Wait,
like the big RV, like a big RV.
What are you giving me the size of?
Like the size of the Amazon like delivery truck.
I'm saying, how big is the mud pit?
Oh. Mud pit's like the 1-lane road. It's pretty much the whole 1 lane.
I'm saying, like, how long would you need to make it through?
It's a good.
I'm picturing like a little dip mud thing.
No,
but I'm guessing it's more than that. Like 20 feet.
It's a good 200, 300 feet.
Oh, it's a lot of mud.
It's a lot of mud, Erik. So now we stuck in the mud.
Your choice is looking bolder as I learn more about it.
So backpedal. The whole time we've been on this trip, people have just been like snipping it. Everything is an argument. Everything is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm not arguing no more. We're not arguing about this. I'm going forward. So that's why I went forward. And I can see the lodge right there.
Kind of don't blame you.
Yeah. So now we stuck, right? Fuck. Shit. I'm cussing. I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at all of them. This is when Elisa's brother goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot. They told us when I signed up for the campsite not to use GPS because it'll take you the wrong way and it'll take you down a treacherous road."
What a specific thing to remember.
What a specific time to remember a specific thing. I would have kept that to myself.
At that moment, probably,
I would have kept that to myself.
I don't want to be buried in the mud pit.
But I'm so mad at myself for doing that I don't even think about that at that point. So now I'm in survival mode. Now I'm into how the fuck do we get out of this mud?
Who do we eat first?
So for
the one who didn't remember the stuff.
He would have been the first guy to eat. So for the first hour, we're just trying to push. We're trying to find wood. Their dad's like, there's like a barbed wire fence on the side of us. He's like taking barbed wire loose, trying to get like the wood to use, like to put the wood under the tires and all this kind of stuff.
Get like halfway at least on the initial push.
Dude, we got maybe 5-6 feet.
You didn't get like a little kind of running. Trying to get a picture here
because it was a stop and go. It wasn't like I'm gonna back up a little bit. and then just floor it and go. Nah, I wasn't even thinking like that. So, like I said, first hour we trying to get like mud and all this stuff out, right? I mean, trying to get like wood and stuff to put in the mud and trying to get all kinds of stuff. So it's we're all muddy. We're getting scraped up because there's like thorn bushes and shit to the sides. When you walk on the side of the van, you get scraped. I still have scrapes on my leg from that shit. So this is back in May, yeah. So it's about 5:30, 6 o'clock at this point in the evening. So now, after like the pushing and all that stuff, it's just there's no hope. Now, I'm like, I've already said this idea before, but everybody shot me down. We have 6 bikes with us, 2 on the inside, 4 on the outside. I'm gonna take my bike and ride to that lodge up there and see if somebody can help us. First time, no, it's too high. No, don't do that. What else we gonna do? So the second time, it was like, all right, fine, but Alex, you go with him. Bet. We get on the bikes, get a bunch of water, towels, all that stuff. Held on the bikes, try to ride through this mud. So it's like a mixture of mud, sand, rocks, and all kind of stuff. Just
how did you find this,
dude?
I'm picturing desert and then a mud pit.
So I'm after we're done, I'm gonna show you everything because I have evidence. So this is not made up. I tell you, none of this is fabricated, y'all. All this is
you
true.
sound like quicksand.
Yeah. So we're like sliding through them, like even the bikes we can't make it. So we gotta like ride for a little bit, get off the bike, ride for a little bit, get off the bike, ride for a little bit, till we finally get to dry. Like I said, it was about 300-400 feet of just mud.
Jesus.
So we're riding, right, and we finally get to the bike. And on the ride, Alex is like, dude, I'm glad you just made that decision to just go, because I was sick of the back and forth and nobody was going to make a decision. That kind of made me feel not so shitty, but I was like, all right, whatever. So we're riding, right, and we get to the side where I can actually get a good view at the lodge that I saw on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Alex, that ain't no lodge, man. That's somebody's house. I'm like, we already here. I'm going to ask for help. Like, there's nothing else we can do. I'm going to go ask for help. He got a big 4x4 in his driveway. I'm going to at least ask for help. Ain't nobody else out. We don't see nobody else out here. It's the only house. So, and I ain't, like I said, I ain't fabricating none of this shit. I'm gassed by this point. Like, it's desert. It's hot. I wasn't prepared for this. I'm tired. So we're riding, and now we got to ride up this hill. And I'm like, Alex, I ain't riding up that hill, bro. Like, I'm not riding. I'm gonna walk this bike up that hill because I'm not riding up a hill. He's like, no, I'm gonna ride it.
No.
All right. I'm gonna be right behind you.
Is he still on that hill?
I'm gonna be right. He rode by maybe halfway. I'm gonna say halfway, but it's probably more like a third of the way.
Riding so
and
much
got
harder
off
up
that
the hill.
got off that bike and walked up. So I was, like I said, I was quite distant behind him. I can see him already at the house. So we're recording. So I gotta go up and like, he's knocking, right? Knock, 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 knock. Nobody's coming to the door. So I'm like, this is our only hope. Like, somebody's got to come to this door. Close the door. So he's like, I go, all right. So he gets to the house, knocking. I finally get up to the house with him. And finally, I hear 2 dogs start barking. Somebody's home. Because these dogs came out of nowhere. So somebody opened the door. And they came out. That's the only thing that I'm thinking of every great scenario, right? So we wait. Telling you, we waited for a good 5 minutes for somebody to come to that door, Erik.
They're probably like, well, who are these two?
Finally,
2 fools in that damn.
Finally, a guy comes to the door. A Hispanic guy comes to the door. He's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, man. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, me and my brother-in-law are here to ask for help. I'm like, if you look down the hill right there, We got an RV stuck in the mud, and we can't get out. He's like, really? I'm like, yes. It's like, all right. But and I'm
Yeah.
like totally gassed, like gassed.
I don't know why I was picturing it later, but yeah, y'all were out there in the day.
It's daytime,
and it's been like
It's
100 and
like I
something.
said, by this time it's like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So he comes in, he comes out. He's like, yeah. He's like, y'all need to make a phone call or something. He's like, y'all guys, like, yeah. Do you know, like, do you have like a phone call we can call or something? He's like, yeah, I got a friend who has like a tow truck company. Like, maybe he can help y'all. So I'm like, all right. He goes, I'm gonna go get the number real quick, and I'll be right back. So he goes in the house and grabs the number or whatever. He comes back out, and he's like, here. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, you can call him and see if he'll help y'all. So I dial the number, waiting for it to ring. No answer. So he's like, where y'all trying to get to? And I'm like, we're trying to get to Terlingua Ranch. And he's like, all right. So he's like, that's like another 30, 40 minutes away. I'm like, oh crap. So hold on. So
What's this stuff in here?
mm-hmm. So he's like, I know where that's. He's like, Tulane Reforms, right? He's like, y'all like 30, 40 minutes away. I'm like, shit, we wasn't even close, bro. So he's like, I tell you what. I go, can you? No, at first I'm like, hey, I see you got that truck over there. Can you like help us? And he's like, that's not my truck. He goes, this not even my house. He goes, I'm here taking care of my friend's dad who had a stroke. And he's like, he's out of town. He goes, let me go see if I can find his key. So he goes in the house, back again in the house.
The whole ass
We
adventure.
waiting. I'm out, and the dogs are just. I'm sweating. I'm still gassed. I'm hot. Through all this. This is like 10 minutes at this dude porch, and I'm still like, oh my God, sweat. Cause you know how I sweat, bro.
Yeah.
So
same.
So he comes back out. This time he got waters. He's like, here, take these. He's like, I couldn't find the keys to the truck. He goes, this is my car right here. He goes, I can take y'all to Terlingua Farm, to the campsite, and maybe somebody up there can help y'all. He goes, people do this all the time. He goes, y'all use that GPS, huh? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems to happen. Anywho. So he's like, yeah. So he's like, I'll take y'all to the farm to see if somebody can help. Well, Alex is like, you go with him to the campsite. I'm gonna go back down and let everybody know what's going on. Like, bet. So I leave my bike and ride with Enrique to the campsite. Alex goes back down. This is where the fun starts. As if it ain't already started, right?
Wait, it's getting worse.
Oh yeah, it gets better.
Okay.
So I told you this is the whole podcast is gonna be this, dude. I'm telling you, like, sorry y'all. And I'm gonna be out of breath and my voice is gonna be hoarse, but just it's fun.
It's already bad.
Yeah. So we get he's riding. He's like telling me how he's like I'm by this point I'm pissed off. I'm distraught 'cause I'm thinking about to die in this desert, and I'm just mad. Because this is the second time I'm going camping in a row. The second time I've been camping, and it's just not cool. It's just not cool. So, and he's like trying to like talk to me to like bring me down. So he's like, yeah, I was a counselor and all this kind of stuff. And and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, when we get to this farm, he's like, you're going to talk to the guy named Dean. He's like the security guard at the camp. He goes, this guy's like 180 years old. I'm guessing like, no, dude, he ain't that old. I'm guessing,
right.
Right. We laugh it off. We get to the campsite. Goes, hey, that's Dean's trailer. Go knock on his cabin over there. That's Dean. So I get out of the car. When I tell you, the oldest person you have ever seen in your life came to that door, Eric. That's who came to the door.
It's real old.
He's so old. You know how people get real old and they walk with a hunch in their back?
They start
That's how old he
imploding.
was.
That's security.
He opened the door, and Dean is a great guy. I'm just describing his situation, y'all. I'm not
ocular pat down.
I'm not talking shit. I promise you, this dude saved our freaking life. So I'm not talking shit. I'm just running down the dude's situation. He got on Westerns blasting loud as hell. Got a cat. Cat piss hit me in the face. Like the smell of it just like, oh my God, like, bro. So he's like, hey, what's going on? I run down the situation to him. He's like, y'all use that GPS, huh? It's like a TV show, fool.
Can that be the subtitle of this episode?
I'm like, yeah.
GPS, huh?
I'm like, yeah, don't use the GPS. I'm like, yeah, my brother-in-law forgot. Did not. He goes, we specifically tell y'all in the email not to use the GPS.
He specifically forgot, so it all worked out.
So he's kind of PO'd already, immediately PO'd at me. Because we done messed up his day. He was watching his cowboy movie, and now he got to pause this shit. He mad. So he's like, I tell you what, I'm going to go as Jim. He's the manager of the park. If I can leave to go help y'all. He goes, but I can't do that without his okay because I'm the only person here right now to take care of stuff. Wait a minute. You? The guy that's like 200 years old?
Somebody should be taking care of you.
Yeah. He's like, so if somebody come and need to check in and they stuff ain't right, I'm the only person that can do that. So I can't really leave right now without an okay from somebody. He goes, so I'm going to go talk to Jim and see what he goes. I'm going to go to the cafe and go talk to Pam. I'm not shitting you. These two people are named Jim and Pam. He says, Pam is Jim's wife. I'm like, this all sounds like this is just made up to me. I'm like, all right, bet.
You walked in and said, hey, dude.
So he goes, I walked in and said at the office. Yeah. So he walks in, he goes into the cafe, gets in his truck and drives to the cafe. So I'm like, I'm going to give him some space because I don't want to be all on nobody's back. I don't like people riding my back and all. Even if I'm trying to help you, don't be all up on me. So I'm like, I'm going to give him some space and let him go and do his thing. I'm going to walk over there in like 5-6 minutes. I'll walk over there and see what's up. So I'm waiting. Finally walk over there. As I'm walking over there, Dean's coming out of the cafe. And he's like, hey, I talked to Pam. She gonna call Jim and see what's up and see if he'll go help y'all. He got a 4x4 Jeep and he'll see if he can help pull y'all out. Thank God. I'm like, she said she gonna call him to see. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Maybe
at least some glimmer of hope. So he comes out, when he tells me this, he comes out and starts like smoking a cigarette. And I proceed to watch him smoke 2 cigarettes back to back. So that's probably 5 minutes apiece, right? 10 minutes, he just sitting there. So I'm like, in my head I'm thinking, is this old man gonna go check and see if Pam called Jim and he'll get an answer from him or something? What the fuck? So I don't want to be pushy, but I ain't saying, I'm just like, I'm getting impatient. So I'm just like, I'm pacing back and forth, pacing. And Enrique's with us. He's inside. He's inside with us, and he's like watching me. He's like looking at me. So finally, Dean gets up and walks inside. I'm like, God damn. He's like, yeah, Enrique's like, yeah, I was wondering when the hell he was going to get up. I'm like, yeah, man, me too. I was like, I didn't want to be pushy, but I'm like, God damn, it's getting dark.
Oh, right. He needs help.
It's getting dark. So as I'm saying this, I'm like looking out over the campsite because it's kind of, the cafe is kind of like raised up. So you can look over the campsite so you can see like a bunch of like mobile homes, little trailers and stuff. So I'm like, hey, Enrique, who lives in those? He goes, oh, those are the people that work here at the camp. They live in those. Bet. I'm going to go ask one of them if they can help us. Leave. I ain't even waiting for Dean. I leave. I'm walking down. As I'm walking down, I hear a big old diesel 4x4 come pull up. I'm like, sent from the heavens? I don't know. So I go up to him like, hey, man, 2 Hispanic dudes and a chick get out. I'm like, hey, I need some help. I'm like, my family is stuck like 30 minutes this way. that way. We're stuck in the mud and we can't get nobody to help us get us out. I said, we ain't met nobody that. I said, some people here are trying to see if they can help us, but they really don't know, and blah, 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 blah. And he's giving me the.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I said, I get it, bro. I said, don't feel bad. I said, a random stranger comes up to you and goes, hey, I need you to take me 30 minutes that way. My family's in trouble. And it's getting dark. It's like 7:30 now. It's about to get dark.
By the time you get there.
Like, I get it, bro. Like, don't worry about it. Because he's really giving me he's really the.
I really don't want to.
And I'm like, don't even worry about it. Just forget about it. So, as I turn around to leave, like, motherfucker. I'm mad, but I'm understanding mad. Like, I get it, but I'm still pissed.
This is a hell of a day happening.
Yeah. So this is all like in the span of like 2 or 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
So now, as I'm walking back to the cafe to go see what Dean Pam has told Dean, I see Dean and Enrique coming out of the cafe. Like, some news. I'm gonna get a yes or no or something.
Yeah.
So Dean pulls up in his truck and he's like, "Hey, Jim said he gonna get his 4x4 and come see if he can help, see if he can pull y'all out." He goes, "But you said you got an RV, right?" He says, like 60 I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, just in case we can't pull y'all out," he goes, I'm gonna ask Jim if he'll let me take my truck down there. So if we can't pull y'all out, y'all can at least grab some stuff. We can get y'all some cabins or whatever and bring y'all back to the campsite. Cool. That sounds like a deal, bro. So I was like, all right. So Dean's like, oh, but Jim has been a little sick, so I don't know how well he's gonna be, how good he's gonna feel. So here comes Jim in the Jeep. It's like the Jeep with like the bars on it, no doors.
Yeah.
It's like bars. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, he got the doors, but it's like the small doors, but it's like bars on the top.
The traditional Jeep.
So I go up to him to go like, hey, how you doing? He's like, no. I don't want to shake your hand. I've been sick. Sick from what? Oh, I just had a cold. But what I'm gonna do? Turn down help? No, you're not finna turn down no help. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I hop in the car. I'm like, hey, my name is Dummy. This is how I introduce myself. Because it was like, we stuck in the mud. I'm tired of introducing myself today. So now I'm just being funny. We did not, like, hey, I'm Dummy. Like, we stuck in the mud. And he's like, yeah, I use GPS, huh? Yeah, that's what we done. Yeah. So now, Dean tells Jim his plan about coming with us to come take us to this. He's like, great idea, Dean. Yeah, bring the truck. Come on, let's go. So I'm in a Jeep with Jim, and Dean's following us. The old man's following us. We riding. Jim next to me, coughing the whole time. So I'm hanging out the Jeep like this the whole time, talking to him like this. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm great conversation. But I'm not in that Jeep. I'm getting all the air I can. So we riding. I'm like, now I'm getting like nervous because we riding, but I don't remember riding this long. So I'm like, where the hell are they? Like, where is everybody? And Jim's like, nah. Don't worry. He's like, it's one way in, one way out on this road. It's like, we gonna find them. I'm like, bet. We ride. We finally get to him. I can see him. I can see the lights of the RV or whatever. Hey, I get back. Now, mind you, I've been worried because I don't know what's going on there. They don't know what's going on with me.
Yeah.
They ain't heard from me in 2 hours. So I'm sure they're worried about me. I'm sure they're worried. I get back. Everybody's like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Glad you're back. What the hell are y'all in such a good mood for? Oh, we've been having a good time. We just had like a little camp out right here. We got chairs out and all kind of shit. So I'm like, all right. So I get out of the Jeep, and Jim is like, he's like, I don't think I can pull y'all out. He's like, I got a little Jeep. He goes, I won't get stuck because I'm 4x4. He goes, but I don't think I can pull y'all out. He goes, but I got a buddy named Sean who has all these kind of big trucks and shit. He goes, I'm sure he could pull you out. He's like, I think he just came back into town he'll either be in today or tomorrow, but he'll be back in town soon. I'm like, all right, cool. So we pack up a bunch of shit, pack up all our stuff, and her dad's like, hey, grab the freezer. They done brought this big old deep freeze. It's a mini deep freezer that he just travels with on a daily basis. This is not like a camping activity. No. If you pull up on Spencer Sue right now, he got that cooler in his car, that deep freeze in his car. I say the police gonna pull him over one day and think he's some kind of murderous fucking body snatcher. Because he just has a deep freeze in his
What's in it?
Whatever, you go to the grocery store, pick up a bunch of food and shit, just put it in there.
Oh my.
He'll bring at least some food at work and stuff, like in the freezer and stuff. It's the craziest thing. So he brings this with him on camp. They got a bunch of like fruits and meats and all kind of stuff in the things. He's like, grab the freezer. No. I don't want to grab the freezer. Just grab the freezer. You ain't got everybody who's saying grab the freezer don't carry the freezer. Only 2 people carry that freezer, and it's me and Alex. And neither one of us want to grab this freezer. But Alex will grab the freezer because he's very passive and will just be like, all right, whatever, I don't care. I ain't finna argue about it. I'm gonna grab a freezer that's like 70 pounds and walk through mud.
Damn. I thought it was like a little travel one for some reason.
It's an electrical deep freeze. You plug it in.
Why do you have this?
So he's like, grab the freezer. Son of a bitch. So we grab the freezer. I got one end. Alex got the other. We damn near falling. We finally get it in the back of Dean's truck. We grab a bunch of other stuff. The 3 girls hop in the Jeep with Jim, the coffin guy. Me, the other 3 guys, we hop in the truck with Dean, the old man. It's me in the front with Dean, Alex and their dad in the back. So the whole time he's driving, I gotta keep out, because we get in the car. He's like, y'all know the way back, right? We don't live out here, sir. You do. So I'm like, man, just wait for Jim to pull around. Just pull over to the side and wait for Jim to come past us. We'll follow him. That's a great idea. I know. So he half blind, man, trying to drive at night. I'm telling you, dude, he's like 90-something years old trying to drive at night. It was the most terrifying ride I've ever done in my life. And I wasn't driving. So
It sounds terrifying.
They're in the back having conversation in Chinese. So I'm not part of it at all. Dean's trying to concentrate on not running into rocks, boulders, turn us off a road or something. So he's not conversation. I'm stuck with this. It's like a 30, 40-minute ride back. So I'm stuck with my thoughts. I'm thinking about all the shit that didn't happen today. All the shit that didn't happen today. What could have happened. What could happen tomorrow. Because we just left some RV in the middle of the woods. And I'm like, you sure we should leave this out here? And then Jim looks at me and goes, dude, there ain't no vandals out here. I'm like, oh, you used the word vandals. Yeah, nothing's going to happen out here. We can leave this van out here.
Yeah.
Because I was going to sleep in the van and just stay out there. And everybody's like, no. You're not sleeping out here by yourself. And Jim was like, ain't nothing going to happen to him. You can sleep out here if you want to. It's like, no. You're going to turn the propane tank on and it's not enough exhaust and because it was kind of like in the mud or whatever. Whatever. I ain't arguing. I'm not arguing. I just want to go to the campsite because I've been there. I want to get back there and just chill. Yeah. Like I said, I'm stuck with my thoughts. Like I said, I'm not going to fib any part of this story. I get back, I'm full blown just in my fucking emotions. just full blown, just like everybody could have died. We could anything. I'm going through all the worst scenarios. So I get out, and Elisa looks at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Nah, I ain't okay. Can't you tell I'm not okay?" So I just walk off and go sit on the bench, right? And Victoria comes up to me. She's like rubbing my shoulder. She's like, "It's okay, dude. Like, everybody's fine. You went and got help. Everybody's fine. Like, don't." I'm like, "Nah, this ain't how I roll. I don't do shit. This shit don't happen. I don't like this kind of shit. Like, I like to get places, chill, have fun, and come back. I don't like all this adventure and all this shit. So this is too much for me." So she's like, "But you went and got help." I don't care. So I'm like, all right. So Dean is like, "Okay, we're gonna get y'all some cabins and all this stuff." He's like, "We're gonna get y'all the emergency rate, which is like a couple extra more than the normal rate. You made it seem like you was giving us some kind of discount. We're gonna give you the emergency rate. Like, that ain't nothing."
Wait, it was more?
Yeah. So we wound up paying for this shit. Now, Dean is like 250 years old. So he's doing everything by hand. Everything by hand, Eric.
Like the sloth in Zootopia?
That is the perfect example. Because Victoria giving him her credit card, and this is how he's writing the numbers.
What? I'm already frustrated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why do they have him doing anything?
He's the only one there at night. So, and now it's like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Fuck.
So now he's ornery as shit because I'm sure it's past his bedtime.
Yeah.
And we're all like trying to get stuff saved. He's like, "Slow down, I don't want to do that." So Elisa's trying to like call AAA and all kind of stuff to get. He's like, "Do you need to use the phone?" She's like, "Yeah, can I use?" He's like, "All right, well, come around here." He's like, "But I can't do that while you use the phone." Huh? So he like gets up and stops what he's doing so she can go use the phone.
Why?
That's like right next to him. I don't know, Eric.
You're using all the signal. I can't write.
It's a landline, Eric. A landline. Yeah. So it's like, all right, so she finally can't get a callback number. So she finally has a callback number we use Wi-Fi calling on our phones. So finally, like, we have like semi-signal. So she starts doing stuff on her phone and we start getting checked in or whatever. We're finally getting stuff settled or whatever. Jim comes out. I was like, "Hey, when I got here, I text my buddy Sean. I didn't see he texted me back, but he said he'll be able to help y'all tomorrow." He said, "I don't know what time." He goes, "But he'll be able to help y'all." I mean, he got like a big 6x6 army truck. He said, "He'll get you out." Monkey off my shoulder. Boom. I'm done. Cool. Let's go to the camp. Let's go to the cabins. Let's go to sleep. We ain't eat no dinner. The only thing we ate was that shit I told you we cooked at that propane site. And when we was trying to get propane tank filled up. That's the only thing we ate all day. We didn't even eat dinner. Everybody just went to bed. Next day we wake up. Well, next day about 6. I didn't really get no sleep. Cause my brain is thinking about that RV that's stuck in the desert way like 30, 40 miles away. That's all I'm thinking about.
That'd be, yeah.
That's all I'm thinking about. So I didn't really get no sleep. So about 6:30 on the cabin door. What? So we got 2 cabins. The parents had 1 cabin, and then the rest of us shared 1 because there was 2 beds in each one. So Victoria and Alex were with me and Elisa, and the parents were in the other. So we hear, what? I get up, answer the door. It's their dad. "Hey, come meet us for breakfast in like 10 minutes.
What time is this?
It's like 6:30. Nah. I just looked at him and went, "It's too early." And I just turned around And Alex started like talking to him in Chinese, and they just came to the decision that he wasn't getting up. So, close the door. He takes off. I'm in bed, just I ain't going to sleep. I ain't going to sleep. At least it's like me either. I can't sleep either. Like, you want to get up? Yeah, let's get up. So we get up. We go to the cafe. Alex and Victoria like, I ain't getting shit up. You can kiss my ass. I'm finna sleep in this bed. So we go to the cafe. Walk in. I'm like, hey, are you Pam? She's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, we're the ones that Jim helped out last night. They got stuck in the mud, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh, hey. She's like, is Sean gonna help y'all? I'm like, we ain't really. Yeah, but we don't really know what time or whatever, right? All right. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. He'll call you later. She's like, we just wanted to tell you thank you for letting Jim come out and help us yesterday and all that kind of stuff. We know he wasn't feeling well. She's like, yeah, he's even worse off today. He was pretty good yesterday, but now he's feeling even worse. I'm like, shit. She's like, don't worry about it. He'll be all right. So we go outside and eat because they didn't already order breakfast. Mom and Dad didn't already order breakfast. So we're eating and eating. Pam comes out. She's like doing her normal morning stuff for the cafe. So she passed by. She goes, have y'all heard anything from Sean? No. She goes, I'm going to go get the number from Jim real quick and y'all can keep in contact with him. It'd be easier to do it that way. I'm like, cool. That works for me.
Yeah.
So she gives me the number or whatever. I call Sean. The phone rang, Eric, for an abnormal amount of times. I let that phone ring. Like any other time, I probably would have hung up like 6 rings before he actually answered. Mm-hmm. That's how long I let the phone ring. Because I was waiting for voicemail, for anything, just something. He finally picks up and he's like, you know how somebody answer and you can just hear the question mark after they answer, like, hello?
Yeah.
I was just like, hey.
So persistent.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hey, Sean? He's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, this is Isaiah. I got your number from Jim. We got stuck and I'm like, oh, yeah. Because I tell you what, I gotta go to town, get some fuel and some batteries, and I'm gonna come help y'all. Like, I got a big army truck, 6x6. I'm gonna get you out. I'm like, you sure? Man, I'm gonna get you out. So I'm like, how much you think it's gonna run? Nah, it ain't gonna be much. I ain't gonna charge. I don't do nothing for free, but I ain't gonna charge your arm and a leg. I'm like, bet, cool. So I'm like, well, about what time you think you're gonna come? I'm like, it's like 10 o'clock right now. I said, about 2 o'clock? It's like, yeah, I'll be there around 2 o'clock. Bet, cool. Appreciate it, Sean. I'll see you later, bro. I'm like, you know where we at, right? You at the campsite, right? Yep. I'll be there. All right, cool. Hang up. As I'm hanging up, there's a couple in the diner. I'm like, hey, we ain't trying to be rude or nothing, but we heard y'all was stuck or whatever. He's like, I got a big 4x4 right there. He's like, I live on the other side of this mountain. He's like, if y'all need help, he's like, I'm going to go make 2 more stops. He goes, on that second stop on that water, when I come back, he goes, I'm going to see if y'all need some help and I can help y'all out. He goes, I'm Highway Patrol. He pulled out his badge. I'm like, cool. Like, if we need any help, I'm going to ask this fool because he Highway Patrol. He going to get somebody, a fire truck or something to come pull it. Yeah. So I'm like, cool. He's like, hey, here's my number. White dude, too. And I'm like, man, I'm surprised by all these white people helping me out. Like, this is crazy. First of all, it's the only black dude with a bunch of Asian people. So this already, I'm sure, looks weird as hell to everybody. And everybody's super nice to me. So I'm like, all right, this is freaking me out. But I'm like, cool, appreciate it, man. I can't remember his freaking name, though.
Oh, real nice.
It's been like a month, and I ran into so many people that day, Eric. Don't give me shit about this. So he's like, it's bad enough.
Remember your angel's
It's
name?
easy enough for me to remember Jim, Dean, and Enrique, and Pam, and all these other people.
You remember everybody else.
Because, shut up. so I go and tell everybody the news. I'm like, all right, Sean said he's going to be here like 2 o'clock. I'm going to go back to the cabin. I'm going to go get some sleep. I ain't got no sleep. I've been tripping all day. I said, but before I do that, I'm going to go by the office and see if they got Victoria's stuff entered in the computer to make sure they got a card number and all that stuff right for the cabins and all that. I walk over to the office, Eric. It's closed. It's supposed to open at 9. It's 10 o'clock now, but it's still closed. There's a sign on the door that says, office closed due to COVID and short employees. Oh, this office that we were just in yesterday, this same very office that Jim was in yesterday, that was coughing and doing all this other bullshit. Fuck.
Weird.
So now, I gotta keep this secret with me. Because if I go tell their parents this, oh, they gonna have a fucking heart attack. So I go, hey, Victoria, there's a sign on the office. COVID, close it. She goes, well, can't do nothing about it now. It's like, we'll tell them when we get back home. Bet. We ain't gonna be around nobody but us. Yeah. I mean, so, like, all right, cool. I lay it down. I done had enough of this shit. He said he gonna be here at 2. I'm gonna wake up at 2. Don't say shit to me. I'm gonna go to bed. Elisa comes in. We start talking and all this kind of stuff. We don't lay down because I'm still just like, I want to get this done. I want to get this done. I want to get this done. So finally, about 12 o'clock, I hear outside. Elisa goes, I don't think that's Sean. You know anybody else with a vehicle that's got 6 wheels? Because I do not. So I go outside. I'm like, hey, Sean. He goes, yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm outside. He goes, man, this is badass. Where you get this truck from? He goes, man, I bought a piece of land and it was just on it. And I'm a mechanic, so I fixed it up and I just drive it around and help people pull stuff around when I need somebody to pull stuff. He's like, I just bought a helicopter the other day. I'm gonna fix that up too. This dude's amazing.
Badass.
Yeah. So I'm like, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go grab that muddy clothes that I had on and shoes and shit that I had on yesterday. Because if we're going back in the mud, I'm gonna put that same shit on. It's like, cool. It's like, bet. So me and Elisa swap, put on different clothes and shit, and go out there, hop on the back. It's like a big army truck, bro. It's brown, light brown, and it's got like, it ain't got no cover on the back, but it's got benches on the back to back benches. And you sit on back to back. Once you sit your back to one side, and the other dude sit on his back to the other side, and y'all face outward, right? It's like 3 benches like that. So I sat on one side, Lisa sat on the other. We ride. We get to the road to where I can see the car. I can see the RV. This truck dies.
Did y'all run over a gypsy or something before y'all left?
It's like, good Lord, man. Just like, no. Nah. He's like, don't worry about it, man. I just got to put a little fuel in it. Because I didn't put that much fuel. I didn't know how far it was going, so I didn't put a lot of fuel in it. I'm like, all right. He's like, this thing can run on anything. Because you run on gas, run on diesel. He goes, you got an old motor oil from a car that you took out. He goes, you can put it in there and run on there. He goes, so I got it. So he gets out. Dumps some fuel in the tank. Gets back in. His wife is with him too. It's him and his wife. Gets back in. She's like chatting us up and shit. He gets back in. Cranks it up. Won't start. Cranks it up again. Still don't start. So now I'm just like, what have we done? Like, what have I done?
You've done something
to deserve this kind of bullshit.
God has been angered.
Now I'm just like, I ain't camping. Don't ask me to go camp. I ain't camping shit.
I'm asking you about this here.
So finally, about 5 minutes go by. The longest 5 minutes ever, by the way, because it's beaming sun, and you're just on the back of a truck, and I got on like a straw hat. That's the only shade that I got. So he's. Don't worry, I got it. I'm gonna get it. Don't worry. Fucking smoke everywhere. It starts. It goes like. So we finally get to face with the van, with the RV. I'm like, he looking. He's like, I tell you what, I gotta turn around. He's like, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna back up. I can't pull it face to face. I'm gonna turn around. So he turns around, and while he's doing this, his wife is sitting next to me. She goes, where are all these things come from? She goes, I hope that. She goes, these are those tarantula wasps. Keep that to yourself. I don't need any more bad news. She's like, you ever heard of those? No, I haven't. She goes, oh, well, and I'm like, why is this lady telling me this, dude?
Hey, is this day not bad enough? Like, don't tell me about these
She's
flying
like,
murderers.
what they do is, she goes, they'll find a tarantula, right? And they'll sting the hell out of them. She goes, then they lay their eggs inside of them. And then the eggs will eat their way out. The babies will eat their way out. I'm thinking, why in the hell is she telling me this? She goes, one of them some bitches stung me a few months back. My legs swelled up like a cantaloupe. Why does she continue to tell me stuff? Like, I've asked you 0 questions, and you just continue to tell me about these damn things.
She's not reading the room?
No, not at all. So I'm like, and they're like, it's not like a swarm of them, but it's enough to make you be like, one of them gonna get me. So I'm like, I can't tell Elisa this, because if I tell Elisa what these things are, it's immediately freeze. It's immediately lock up. She gonna lock up, and we don't get nothing done. We got to get these bikes back on the back of this truck. We got to get this truck pulled out of this mud. So we got to get shit going. So I'm like, I ain't gonna tell her shit. I'm not telling her nothing. So I'm like, hey, you see those bugs over there? Stay away from those. They look weird. I'm like, they look weird. Just stay away from those. Like, all right.
Those fruit flies over there?
So I go back. He done backed up now. And he's like, look, he getting chains and shit off his truck. I'm like, you think you can pull it out? He's like, all right, shit. He's like, I got it. He's like, it's going to be all right. And his wife goes, yeah, that's what I'm going to put on his tombstone. She goes, when he die, I'm going to put, it's going to be all right. She goes, that's his motto. He don't get upset about nothing. He don't know. He's like, it's going to be all right.
That's a good motto. I like that.
So I'm like, you gonna hook it up? You want me to hook it up? He said, no, I got it. Man gets down in the mud, bro. Not his vehicle. Gets down in the mud and is like hooking. He's like, I'm gonna find some. He's like, don't worry, I ain't gonna mess it up. I'm gonna find some. I'm gonna hook it on the frame. I ain't gonna mess it up. Gets down there, hooks it up. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get you. He's like, you put it in neutral, and I'm gonna pull it. I'm like, babe, you got the bikes on the back? No, I'm not ready yet. Man, we ready to go. Come on, let's go. Give me another minute. Shit. Hold on, Sean. She need another minute to put these bikes on the thing. So we wait. She's like, all right. I'm like, cool. We hop in. Now, he pulling. I'm in neutral. I can see all 6 of his wheels just spinning. We ain't moving, Eric. So now I'm starting to like a little panic a little bit. So I'm like, shit. So he's like, he can feel me panicking is what I summarize.
The whole front window steam.
He like looks back and just like, don't worry. So he like lets off the gas. He backs up a little bit. He fucking floors it. The thing kind of like jerks a little bit. Fucking wheels start spinning and he starts spinning and I started moving, and when I tell you I started moving and the goddamn heavens opened up and the angels started singing, and I don't even believe in shit like that, and I heard them, Eric. No, I'm serious. I was in the car, bro, by myself, like I'm on a fucking roller coaster. Yeah, whoa, yes, you're the man, John. You're the man, John. So he finally pulled us out or whatever. I get out. I'm like, dude, you are a fucking lifesaver. I cannot believe you got this out. Now, I'm thinking it's gonna be about $300 to $400. Like, you gonna charge me some money. So I'm like, how much is it? $200. $200. It's okay. It wasn't nothing. Bro.
You think if I kiss you on the mouth?
Yeah. You mind if I kiss that filthy mouth of yours real quick? So I'm like, bet. So I'm like, all right, we ain't got no cash on us. I said, but when we get to the campsite, he's like, I got Venmo. Bet. When we get to the campsite, I'm going to Venmo you, bro. Don't worry about it. I said, but I got to go. You see that house right there up on the hill? I got to go get my bike from up there because I left that shit up there yesterday when he gave me a ride to go to the campsite. So I got to go back up and get my bike. Bet, all right, cool. We riding. I'm like, I'm not riding up this steep ass little tiny road up this hill to his house in this RV. Because it's going to be difficult as hell when we already had one catastrophe and we're not going off the side of a mountain this time. So, like, I'm going to walk up the hill. For the second day in a row, I get to Enrique's house. Hey, Enrique. How you doing? I just came to get my bike and to tell you we got the RV out. If you look down the hill, we're out. He's like, oh man, Isaiah, I'm so glad y'all got it out, bro. He like give me a hug and dap me up, and he's like, I'm glad y'all got it out. He's more happy than we was. So at least that gave me like $40. She's like, get this to that motherfucker when we get up to him. I'm like, bet. So I'm like, here, take this money, man. He's like, nah. Bro, don't make me shove this in your mouth. Like, take this money. Like,
it's covered in my sweat.
I don't have to do. I will never ever see you again in my life. Probably. There's nothing else that I can do for you to show you how much I appreciate you helping us out yesterday. Because two strange ass motherfuckers showed up to your door, and you could have been like, get the fuck out of here. Like, for real. Like, two dudes in the desert just show up out of nowhere, and you was just like, yeah, I'll help you.
I'd be hesitating.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, dude, take this money. And he's just like, all right. I mean, you put it like that, all right, bro. So now I get back on my bike. Remember Steep Ass Hill I was telling you about earlier? I should have walked down the hill. I didn't have an accident, but it was terrifying.
Could have been awesome.
It was, the brakes did nothing for me at all. I make it to the car. We put everything back. We ride to the campsite. We get to the campsite. Everybody's like, yeah, heroes are heroes. Now, this is where the story should end, right?
Yeah.
This is where the story should end. It doesn't, Eric.
How? How did so much go wrong in one trip?
The story doesn't stop here. The story should have stopped right there. But it doesn't. Now, we go back to the cabin. I take a shower. I come back out. Elisa looks at me and goes, hey, Alex wants to actually go to the actual Big Bend Park. Like the tourist part. Why? We just got this van out. I don't think we should go nowhere. Like, we made it out of that without doing anything catastrophic to this man's van. I think we should stop while we're ahead.
Count this as a win.
Nope. So there's a guy that pulls up. He's coming into the cabin next to us. So they start like conversation with him. He's a musician that came in to play at the campsite tonight. He having a little concert. He tells us about this place at Big Bend called the Window View. They want to go see it. Like, all right, man, whatever, dude. This is my saying to everyone. Look, I don't want to do anything. I feel like we made it out of here good enough to where we call it, like you said, call it a win. I'm not going on no hike. I'm not hiking. I'm not doing shit. If we go, I'll go with y'all, but I'm not getting out and doing nothing. I'm not doing shit. But I don't want to be the one to be like, no, I don't want to go. Because I know Elisa going to stay, and then I don't want to. That's not me. So I'm like, I'll go, but I'm not doing shit. All right, that's fine, that's fine. I'm not driving to nothing. All right, that's fine, that's fine. We ride. I hear in the back, it's me and Victoria in the back again. I hear, this is on the way to the Big Bend Park. Every couple seconds on the back of the van. Like something hitting the van. What the fuck is that? So I get out, and the little tail, you know the thing that you hook up to trailers and hitches and things like that to have like the lights and hooks up and all that stuff, that little electrical tag that has like hookups on it on the back of the truck or something. Yeah, all right. So that's what I had. That's what was hitting the ground or whatever. So we put that up. Not a big deal. Eric, we're riding towards the park. Loose gravel sign. Tell me why a little old bitty pebble comes out of nowhere, bloop, plucks the windshield and puts a big ass spider crack right in the middle of the fucking windshield. And all I could think about was, I told you so. I told you we shouldn't have went no fucking where. We made it out of that without a scratch on this fucking RV. But y'all wanted to take it one step further. And that's what was your punishment was. Is you wanted to go other. Now, granted, the window view was badass. It was tight. It was cool and shit was cool to see. But it wasn't needed. So yeah. We riding back and deer and shit, and it's another part to this that's not that important with the scraping of the bottom of the car when Alex was driving and all this kind of stuff. But that's not important. That's really not that important. But yeah, that was the story of the camping.
I don't understand how so much can happen in one trip. That's a lot.
Oh, and then after we come back from Big Ben, that was Saturday. Sunday, we left.
What? You were there for like a night?
We got there Friday. We picked up the car. We got the car towed out on Saturday. Sunday morning, we left.
Was that always the plan?
Yeah.
You spent like 60% of the time
trying to get the van out the
trying
mud.
to fix shit.
Henceforth, I will never, ever, ever go camping again.
Well,
it don't matter. It don't matter with who. I ain't going.
It won't be like that with us.
I ain't going.
Because
the next time, I'm not coming out alive. That's the only step next.
It's a balance because you'll bring that energy, and ours always goes well.
I ain't going.
They'll meet, and they'll just be like maybe a little inconvenient.
Yeah, the only bad shit'll happen to me.
Well, we'll be with you.
That don't help.
We'll help you figure
if
it out.
I'm dead.
You'll live.
Nah,
probably.
That's the only bad thing left to happen. It's the only bad thing left to happen.
Death.
I almost got hypothermia the first time. Then I almost died in the desert and freaking dehydrated. Yeah, no. I'm good. I'm all right. Like camping is not me.
Third time's a charm.
I'm going to stay in here with this PS5. We're going to have a good old time.
I
ain't trying to Oregon Trail my life. I've played the Oregon Trail twice in my life, and it has not worked out. I'm good.
You don't want
but yeah, ain't that crazy? I told you. The whole podcast was me telling this story.
A lot of shit.
An hour and 13 and I'm cutting shit out. I'm cutting shit out, man. It's like I told you, it's a whole nother like 20 minutes of stuff.
It's like in my own life when I get those moments where I feel like if something can go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And then it like pisses me off because it's such a direct little fuck you. You know, when you could throw something to the trash, but just like still thing sticking out just goes somewhere else. And you're like, it could have just went in.
You could have just went in, you little dirty bitch.
And that whole trip was that.
It started out so great, dude. We were riding. I was like, oh, this is a smooth ride. The RV is sweet. Me and Elisa gonna get the RV while they outside sweating in the tent and all that. Like, da-da-da-da. We didn't do none of that.
You didn't even camp, really. Yeah. Y'all suffered and then you left. Well, some of you suffered.
Yep. And they're talking about they want to go again in September. Not to Big Ben, but to somewhere else outside San Antonio. I'm like, bruh, nah, I'm good. I told Lisa, you can go. I ain't going.
Well, don't get burned out because in December we're going to go.
I'm not going camping, bro. That's it for me.
November. We're only going to like Austin.
I'm good.
It's like 2 hours away.
I'm good, bro. Like, for real, I'm good.
We're just going to go have some beers
I
and then come back.
I appreciate it. I'm good.
It can't happen 3 times.
You forgot who you talking to.
We at least have...
you forgot who you talking to.
We'd have podcast material.
I don't need none. I still got extra. I cut some stuff out.
Next year's camping extravaganza.
I cut stuff out, dude. I wasn't even supposed to keep you here this late. Y'all been here a minute. This is crazy.
We'll need camping story 2023.
I told you. And this is a specific reason why I told you. I'm not telling you nothing until I can record it while I'm telling you. Because it's way too much. And I actually didn't forget. I usually like forget like the him telling us about the GPS. I usually forget that part. And I usually forget that part.
It's a crucial part.
And I always have to go back and be like, oh yeah, back Hody, he forgot to tell it that we shouldn't have used the GPS. Yeah, I usually have to do that. But yeah. So y'all,
unrealistic that all that could happen.
I'm just gonna say this. If y'all go camping, make sure y'all plan out every step. Cause that you be in the desert stuck. We almost died.
The fine print.
We almost died.
I guess it wasn't even fine print. They made it explicit that you shouldn't take the GPS route.
So when we got to the Big Ben window view, I got to tell you this part because it's funny. Alex was backing up and he scraped the goddamn bottom of the propane tank on it because he backed up too far. After I told him, "You good? You good?" All right, whatever.
You were good.
So I get out of the car, and this is where we got stuck in the mud. The window done fucking cracked. Now you can scrape the bottom. So I get out, and I'm like, I just came to this conclusion, y'all. I said, if I ever buy an RV, I ain't let nobody drive that motherfucker. Dude, there are deer. Like, there are deer that, like, just roam around the Big Ben Park that are, like, normalized, like, people and shit. These motherfuckers stopped what they was doing. Were just like, what in the hell is going on? Yeah, and I have pictures of that. I have pictures of the deer. Yeah. I fabricated none of this part of the story. Yeah. We went to the window view. The window view was tight. It was like two mountains that like did like a V shape, and the sun set right in between those bad boys. It was badass, but like I said, it wasn't needed. I could have looked at that shit online.
It's not the same.
But anywho, y'all, I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let y'all go because I've been talking way too much and I'm getting tired. So this was my adventure. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Sorry I didn't let him talk this time, but I had to get this off my chest because way too many people want to hear this story, and I just don't feel like telling it that many times. So here you go.
It's a hell of a story.
I'm making it into a movie. I'm going to write it into a movie. Because just telling it is an hour and 17 minutes. The actual movie and writing the script is going to be like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's going to be awesome. So one day, y'all will see it on the movie screen. Hopefully, the dude that we did the outdoorsy don't see this, though. Because we didn't tell him nothing about that shit.
Wait a minute.
That dude looked familiar. Hold up. But yeah, anywho. All right, y'all. Let's see y'all later. This was fun. I'm glad I got to tell y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Peace.
Careful out there.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.